Don, that was wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks for what you're doing down here. I mean, it's hard to get radio these days that anybody will listen to. You know, you can get on a station where you have to be in the building to hear it or something like that. But this is nice, and it's harder with the consolidation of media. It's harder. At one time in Detroit, I could go in and get played on 2 commercial stations and the biggest public radio station there, and millions of people could hear me. Yeah. And then since 2005 or 6, Clear Channel bought everything, and now first thing they did was kill the local programming. So nobody coming up behind me can get that kind of exposure without being tied to a big record company or something like that. So these things matter. They mean something, and I've been a beneficiary of radio, and it helped my life a lot. I mean, I can play in Michigan now 3 or 4 times a year sometimes, and people will come out because I got all that airplay, and that was years ago. I still am benefiting from it. So,
absolutely.
So thank you, Keith and Sandy, both of you for keeping the dream alive.
Absolutely, and a shout out to Ed Perry, who is the owner of WATD, because he has had many offers to sell out, and he says no.
Thank you,
and
Ed.
He's a huge success.
Absolutely.
And he supports the community. He supports, and a lot of people may not know, that the weekend programming is contracted, and you have to get your own sponsors, and which sales is not my specialty.
Yeah.
And Ed was very pleased with what we did the first year, and he now donates the time to us.
That's wonderful.
Which
great.
has
That's
been,
really good.
and so we're now
Go
in our
Ed.
8th year, and we can't thank Ed enough. Ed and everybody over at WATD has been just a big support. We would love to hear another song, and then we can talk a little more as much as you want. And I want to again remind people about your Cape Cod show that's coming up too, because I just ran out of time to say it at the end on the radio, but we want to say that again. Was it the July 14th, I think?
July 14th.
Yeah, down at the Cultural Arts Center in Yarmouth. Do I have that right?
South Yarmouth, yeah.
South Yarmouth,
It's a fantastic place. Air conditioned. They saved this building. I think there were raccoons living in it, and the ceiling was falling in, and all of that. And they brought it back. It's a beautiful building, and they have expanded it. The community supports it. It's cool just to go check out.
Oh yeah.
There's a place where they teach pottery. They have a kiln in there, and they have a recording studio where people in the community can just go and record in there. Galleries. I mean, that's when in this business, like it's a stupid business, really, in a lot of ways. There's no money in it. It keeps you away from the people that you love. You bring people into your world who don't have your best interest in mind. Lots of times in the business side of it. So there's a lot of drawbacks to it. But on the plus side, your music and your art brings you to places that you would never have found before. And so every weekend, I'm driving along a beach to somebody's house, and there's a studio in the middle of it. I would have never known about it. And places like this bank down there and all around the country. So that's, it may not be a ton of money in it, but there's a really interesting life in it at a certain level. And I think that's worth considering at the beginning.
Well, and you are
on the 14th of July, Don White will be in that very house, and everybody that's a friend of Don White or new to Don White, I think he should be there. I'm going to try to be there, Don, if I can.
Friend of Don.
If I can be there, I'll be there.
And just a reminder again that you do a full selection, right? You do the comedy, you do the love songs, you do all different things, right?
I'll do. Yeah, I feel like a show should go as many places as possible, and so funny, serious, music, story, reading. Just so that it's as complete an experience as possible, not just for them, but for me too. I don't want to be bored with what I'm doing, Sure. So I'm interested in taking it as many places as it can go, but maintaining a certain level of entertainment value all the way through. That's kind of the trick, actually. I think when I teach, I stress that to people that it's okay to do a lot of different things, but the quality of it has to there can't be a big dip in quality just to do something that you want, something new, something different. You have to put the time into
Sure,
it.
it's not easy.
And storytelling and comedy, it requires a fair amount of work to get good at it. You can't just pull it out of your pocket and do it. You have
Absolutely.
to put
If you take it seriously.
effort to it. But it's worth it because it gives the audience a more complete night.
That last song, by the way, Angel in Pieces, I had only heard that one just this past week when I was reviewing your CDs to pick out songs. That song is just, I don't even have words for it. It's so dynamic and it's a gripper, And you do it beautifully now on the CD. It's like a full production with orchestrated, which is absolutely gorgeous. But your solo version is every bit as powerful with just one man, one guitar, and it's a fantastic song. I would love to get our group to choreograph that with your permission if we can.
Sure. I think it's important to feel the work that you do. I mean, not to sound like a pompous guy, you know what I mean? Like, if I heard an artist say that, I'd be clicking. I'd be like, oh, God, please save me. But I mean it. You do, for your own sake and for the sake of the people that hopefully are spending money to see you, you should feel it. You should remember how you felt when you wrote it. How did you feel about it? Try to get in that space and do it. And it helps. It helps connect to people and, I'm rambling.
No, that's the joy of our after hours on Facebook. We can ramble all we want.
It's a ramble zone.
That's right.
And to give you an idea of Don White's show, after every show, to go back to what Don is saying, is that you see a lineup of people for a full Don White concert. You do get every aspect of what Don offers. And there's a line of people wanting to get his autograph, wanting to talk to him, want to pick his brain.
Stalkers, we call them.
The stalkers, yeah. No, but there's just such a line
They want
of
a
people
piece of you, huh?
to see. I mean, Don has a plethora of wonderful CDs, and they're just wonderful CDs.
I'm glad you brought that up because once again, and it's on the comments on the Facebook Live is the link to Don's page, donwhite.net. Did I get that right? And on there he has so many CDs listed, and they're great. They
I've
really
been a
are.
really well-kept secret for many years now. I've been pumping out music that nobody's heard for a long time.
Get a DVD set.
Anything that we can do to help get the secret out, we're interested.
It's I'm grateful. I have an interesting career. I get to play every weekend. Somewhere between 40 and 400 people show up, and I don't know, nobody in my bloodline ever got to do this. Can you imagine, I just try to picture the Irish side of my family, if they ever figured out that you can make a living just getting in front of a microphone and flapping your lips and talking, and people would pay you for it. None of them would have worked a day in their life. I tapped this untapped reservoir in my family bloodline, gift of gab, I guess. But I don't take it for granted at all. It is a privileged life, and nobody from my community gets to do this. Nobody went to college, nobody went to nothing. We just worked at the GE or whatever, and so I take it seriously, and I want to do a good job. If you come to any show that I'm at, even when I'm sick and I don't feel good and all that, I do my best to make sure that it's a good for you because I want you to tell your friends. There's no record company. There's nothing. It's only you guys telling other people, so that's it.
Well, as I said, we're happy to do anything we can to help, and
Sure.
and of course, you have shows all over. You perform in other parts of the country as well, and we have listeners in other parts of the country,
Yeah,
right?
I'll be in Tennessee in July, and I'm going to Pittsburgh, and I'm playing these storytelling festivals now. That's a new thing
nice.
for me. I didn't even know there was such a thing. That's the way my career is. I get good at something not knowing that there's even a market for it. I just got good at telling stories because I got bored with me singing, and then now I find out that there's this whole network of story festivals,
Oh, wow.
and I went to one, and all of a sudden I had 6 or 7 other festivals came out of it. They were telling me, you're the, we never seen anything like you before. I'm like, I didn't even know you people existed. I didn't know this was a world. I just was like, just entertaining myself basically, but who knew?
Now, when you do the storytelling festivals, can you also do songs, or
yeah,
you can't?
Yeah, I
you
can.
Okay,
they
cool.
kind of pigeonhole you, and they call you what do they call you? A
Multimedia?
musician teller,
Oh.
right? So there's fewer opportunities.
Labels.
Yeah, but I'll take it, whatever. I mean,
Sure.
The one in Tennessee is fantastic. I'm going to go down and do a residency there in July, and then I'm doing a big one next year in Nebraska. The thing about storytelling is it brings me to places I wouldn't normally go. There, a lot of them are down south or in rural places, and get to meet new people and be in parts of the world that I haven't been before.
Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Jonesboro, Tennessee, the biggest storytelling festival in the world. When I'm down there, I'm doing a residency at the theater. The festival is in October. I recommend that highly to anybody.
Okay. On July 28th, it sounds like you're doing the International Storytelling Center in Jonesboro,
Yeah, I'm going to do a
Tennessee.
whole week residency there.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice, very nice. And because when we're on WATD, it's live streamed all over the world, and then of course on Facebook, same thing. So, and we do have followers all over the country and a few out of the country as well. So, wherever you're listening, there's a good chance that Don will be coming to you sometime in the next year or so. So be sure to go to donwhite.net and check out his very busy schedule.